Welcome to Homework Help 5.3. I'll be your host, Ms. Bailey. It'll be co-hosted by no one. It's just me. No one else is allowed in this room. Anyways, let's go. So, the first 3 points are given. Okay, each point is a solution to it. Oh, you can't see me. Hold on. There we go. Each point is a solution to at least one of the equations. Just one point satisfies both. This is the solution to the system of equations. Find and justify which point is a solution to both equations. And also justify which points are not. Okay, so you're given two equations called a system of equations. All right, so 3 points. So which point works for both equations? That is what we have to figure out. Let me look. I don't know. Let me do I'll do number 4. Then depending on how I feel, maybe I'll also go back and do number 3. Okay. Okay, it's right below the glare. So number 4. You have y equals 2x plus 4, and you have x plus y equals -5. Okay, x plus y. Okay. This is given to you, and then they give you 3 points. They give you 3 points. Let me 1, 6, -3, -2. And -3, +2. Okay. All right, this is what is given to you on number 4. They give you 2 equations, and they give you 3 points. So we have to figure out which point works in both. Okay? Keyword, it must work in both. Alrighty. Here, should I color coordinate? I didn't. I could. Let's make X will be maybe purple. Let's see what that looks like. Oh yeah, that works. X will be purple. 1, 3. Oh, and -3. Okay. X will be purple, and we will make Y be red. Maybe. Y will be red. Yeah, I like that actually a lot. Then 6. So I'm changing all my Y values to red just to color coordinate. Obviously, you don't have to do this. Leave that open and open. Okay. So X, Y, and here are all my points. All right, let's start with A. So we're going to substitute. I need this one. Wait, no. I need this one. We're going to substitute 1 in for X and 6 in for Y. All right? We're starting out with this equation, so 6 in for Y. 6 equals 2 times X. Why did I close my marker? X is 1. Okay, we're starting with the top equation. And now just solve. So now we have 6 equals 2 times 1, which is 2, plus 4, six equals 2 plus 4, which is 6. Okay, so that works. Let's call this, I don't want to call it A and B. I guess this is what we'll just go first and second. This is our first equation, and this is our second equation. Okay. So A works for the first one. It works for the first equation. Does it work for the second? Let's find out. So you have x plus y equals -5. So go ahead and substitute in. X is 1, y is 6, and then make sure you're just rewriting everything else. Ta-da! 1 plus 6, 7. Okay. 7 equals -5. Is that true? Is this a true statement? Is 7 equal to -5? No, no. 7 and -5 are very different numbers. So no. So the first equation, so the first point, it worked here. It did not work here. So that's out. It's not the first one. That is not the solution to the system of equations. Okay. Moving on. Let's do B. So we're going to substitute -3 and -2 into our equations. Okay. So start with the first equation. Y is -2. Equals 2 times x. X is -3. Plus 4. Okay, so all I did was substitute -2 in for y, -3 in for x. Here we go. -2 equals 2 times -3. 2 times -3 is -6. And then bring down your 4, plus 4. All right? -6 plus 4 is -2. So is this true? Is -2 equal to -2? Yes. So B worked for the first equation. Does it work for the second one? Let's find out. So now you're going to take -3, -2, and substitute it into this equation. Okay. So x is -3. Oh, that would be my stomach. I'm hungry. Plus y. Y is -2. Y is -2, so put -2, and then equals 5. All right. We substituted in for x and y. Now combine them together. -3 plus -2. -3 plus -2. That would be -5. And then rewrite on the other side, 5. So it's going to be, okay. Hold on a second. I'm not agreeing with the book. Oh, my bad. See, be careful with your negatives. This should be -5. I wrote it down wrong. That should be -5. -5, -5. So this should also be -5. Sorry. So is -5 equal to -5? Yes, it is. So this one also works for the second equation. Okay, so B is your solution to this system of equations. If I were to graph these two lines, if I were to graph these two equations, they would intersect at this point. They would intersect at this point. Okay? And then you're supposed to, I think you're supposed to show your work for all of them anyway. You are. So we're going to show our work for C. Good practice anyway, so show your work for C. We're going to substitute into your equations, -3 and 2. This marker's going to die. So y is 2. Oh, not bad yet. Equals 2. 2 times x. X is -3. Okay. So then that is 2 times -3 is -6 plus 4. -6 plus 4 is -2. Is that true? And no, it is not. So C is not correct. If you understand this, you can move on. I'll go ahead and substitute the last. I'll do the last one. So we'll substitute this point into this equation. See what happens. Okay, x is -3 plus y, which is +2, equals -5. Now I'm all, did I write that down right? Wait for it, 3, 2, -5. Yes. All right, -3 plus 2, -1. And that is also not true. So it's not C. Okay. Okay, I won't do all of number 3, I don't think, but I'll do one example of it. So they give you 2 equations and they give you 3 points. I don't know why I didn't write this down before I unpaused you, but I did not. 7, 2. And they give you 2 and -14. And they give you -2, +2. Okay. So we have x and y. Okay. So we're going to substitute. We'll do A. Oh, I didn't color coordinate. Ah! I can't remember what we were. Were we blue and red? I think so. No, we weren't. We were purple and red. Too bad. We're switching it. 7, 2, -2. And X is blue. Okay, there. Color coordinated. Here we go. We're going to substitute the first point in. So the point is 7, 2. Well, I only have a Y. Okay, so you're just going to ignore your X. Only substitute in your Y. Y is 2. So for this first equation, 2 equals 2. That checks out. So this is first. Actually, we'll just put check marks. So that works for one of them. There. Doesn't work for the other one. Let's find out. So substitute it in. Y is 2. -4 times x. X is 7. -4 times 7 is -28 minus 6 So 2 equals negative 28 minus 6 more. Negative 34. Let me make sure I agree with the book. Oh, they didn't do this one. Well, there you go. So, is 2 equal to negative 34? No. Okay, so A is not the solution. So that's how you would do number 3. So try and substitute in the next 2 points. And figure out which one works for both equations. So for 5 through 8, it says graph the following equations by finding the x-intercept and the y-intercept. They give you this, and they say graph the following equations by finding the x-intercept and the y-intercept. So that's what we did in class, finding the x and y-intercepts. Okay, to find the y-intercept, we substitute 0 in for x. To find the x-intercept, we substitute 0 in for y. Here, should I make them different colors? I can. Okay. Well, I guess x can't be purple, huh? We'll make x be orange if it shows up. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Okay. Okay, there we go. So, to find the y-intercept, you're going to substitute 0 in for x. To find the y-intercept, you're going to substitute 0 in for x. 0. So here we go. I need purple and blue. So you have 5, substitute 0 in for x. Minus 2y equals 10. Okay. 5 times 0 is 0. So you have 0 minus 2y equals 10. I'm going to sit down because I'm old. So you get negative 2y is equal to 10. All right, last step here. Let me move you down a little bit. You're going to divide both sides by negative 2. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1. And 1 times y is just y. So those cancel. You're left with y equals 10 divided by negative 2 is negative 5. So that would be your y-intercept. If you want to write it as a point, 0, negative 5. That is your y-intercept. Okay? If you were to graph this, it would cross the y-axis at negative 5. Okay, so now we're going to find the x-intercept. Where does it cross the x-axis? So all you're doing is substituting 0 in for y. So it's the opposite of what we just did. So we're going to substitute 0 in for y. So I have 5x minus 2, and we're going to substitute in 0 for y. So negative 2 times 0 equals 10. Okay, negative 2 times 0 is 0, so minus 0. So then you are left with, oh, my bad. That was very satisfying, though. It was a good 5. 5x equals 10. Voila. Now you're going to divide both sides by 5. We're multiplying 5 times x, so we're going to divide both sides by 5. And you get, these cancel, x equals 2. So your x-intercept is 2, 0. All right, now they want us to graph them, so 1 second. Okay, here's my coordinate grid. Highly recommend graph paper, guys. Highly recommend graph paper. If you don't have any and you can't get any, let me know. Okay, so we're just going to graph it using our x and y intercepts. So our y-intercept is 0, -5. So it crosses my y-axis at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my y-intercept. Remember, this is your y-axis, this is your x. Okay. There's my y-intercept. This is -5. This is -1. This is 1. This is 5. That's also -1. This is -1.5. That's 7. Okay. Then our x-intercept is 2, 0. So x is 2, 1, 2. Y is 0. Right? And then you would just connect your line. Connect your point, sorry, by a line. There. Oops. Ah. Okay. So there's your line. So it's going through 0, -5, my y-intercept, and it's going through 2, 0. This is 0, and this is 0, -5. Okay. So that's what you're doing for the next 3 problems, 6 through 8. Okay, for 9 through 12, you are adding fractions. You're adding fractions. Yay, fractions, woohoo! So, this is number 11. Before you add these fractions together, you must find a common denominator. A common denominator. Remember, fractions. Your numerator is on top. Numerator, this is your denominator. All right? So, common denominator. You might be able to do this in your head. 2 ways, well, few ways you can do it. The best way is to find the least common multiple of these numbers. So let's say I have 3 and I have 4. So we're going to do multiples until we get something in common. So multiples of 3. So this is times 1, times 2, times 3, times 4, times 5. Okay. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 1 is 4. Do a different color. 3 times 2. Can we see that? Yeah. And 4 times 2 is 8. So you're just going up by multiples. 3, 6, and then your next one, oh, whatever. 9, 12, 15. Okay, going up by 3s. Over here, multiples of 4. 4, 8, and then you'd have 12. Oh! We have one in common. We have nothing in common, but then they both have 12s. That means your common denominator is 12. Okay. So then you have to go, okay, how did I get from 3 to 12? 3 times what number is 12? Well, you can look over here. 3 times 4 is 12. So I multiplied the bottom by 4. 3 times 4 So I have to do the same thing to the top. 2 times 4 is 8. And then same thing over here, same idea. What did I multiply 4 by to get 12? Well, 4 times 3. I multiplied by 3, so you also multiply your numerator by 3. 3 times 1 is 3. So you get 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 over 12. Oh, 12. Okay. I'll do one more. Okay, there we go, for real. So 4 7 plus 8 over 21. So the first thing you need to do, you cannot add them until you have a common denominator here. So if you can do it in your head, that's fine. If not, we can make a table. I have 7 and 21. Okay, so same thing. We're going to do multiples. So 7 times 1, 1 times 2 times 3 times 4. Okay, 7 times 1 is 7. 21 times 1 is 21. 7 times 2 is 14. 21 times 2, 42. 7 times 3 is 21. Oh, look at that. We have, sorry here, there. We have a common multiple. That means this will be your denominator. So this guy gets to stay exactly the same. However, for this one, how did I get from 7 to 21? How did I get from 7 to 21? What did I multiply by? 3. 7 times 3 is 21. So I multiplied my denominator by 3 to get 21. So I have to multiply my numerator by 3. 4 times 3 is 12. Now you can add them. 12 plus 8 is 20 over 21. So that would be your answer. Okay? Okay. The last set of problems, you are multiplying fractions, 13 through 16. You're multiplying fractions together. I'll do number 14 as an example. So when you're multiplying fractions, it's pretty easy, all right? I think it's easier than adding. Adding, because you have to find a common denominator, is kind of sometimes. But when you multiply, you just multiply straight across. So I'm going to have 4 times 7 and 7 times 10. Now, 4 times 7, 28. 7 times 10 is 70. You're not done. Now is kind of the harder part. Now you have to simplify. So you have to think of, what can I divide both of these numbers by? It doesn't, you can divide, well, they're both even numbers, so you can divide them both by 2. You could divide them both by 7. Let's just do 2. So that way we'll go through different steps. So we'll divide by 2, divide by 2. That gives you 14 over 35. What can we divide 14 and 35 by? Not 2, because 35 isn't even. You can divide them both by 7. So you get 14 divided by 7, which is 2, and 5. There you go. Now you're at your final answer. Okay, I think I'm going to leave you there. Have fun.